Hello, this is Nahashon Kimemia. Welcome to my YouTube channel. You can follow me at www.nahashonkimemia.org. That's my blog, so make sure you go there, and then we can speak on a couple of issues. You get to know what I think, and I get to know what you think. But today we'll just focus on what has happened at Westgate. It's such an unfortunate event. So many people have died, so many people have been injured. It's just terrible. But I don't need to tell you about it because it's been all over the news. However, I do feel that I should touch on a couple of issues that perhaps many people do not want to touch on, or perhaps many people are scared to touch on. So, but before I begin, I just want to begin with an introduction. I want to begin with the words of Margaret Kenyatta, a very wise lady, and this is what she said about what has happened. As a society, we are wounded and we weep, but as a nation, we must rise and prevail. And I just want you to take, a bit of stock in those words and figure out what they mean. That as a society, we are wounded and we weep, but as a nation, we must rise and prevail. So there are two elements that are there. We are wounded and we weep. As a nation, we must rise and prevail. And it is within that scope, within that perspective, that I share with you this video. So I shall be touching on a few aspects, touching on this Westgate incident, and I hope you bear with me. There are just a couple. And to begin with, I'll just begin with the media. Now, the coverage of the media during this entire incident has been, in what I might say, a bit below par. And that's being kind with words, because I wanted to use the word pathetic, but I just thought I just be kind with words and move on from there. So anyhow, I do believe that the media has performed poorly in the coverage of these events, and this reflects a lot on how the media has basically been performing when it comes to covering events. The election in 2007 was poorly covered before the elections, and that gave rise to the violence that we witnessed. Again, the media has covered so many other events during this time, including the referendums, in such poor ways that they've often led to problems, as opposed to just informing Kenyans and making the situations better. So just to tell you what I think about the coverage of the media. Now, you cannot reveal the location of hostages while you are on camera. That is very dangerous for the hostages, and to say the least, the perpetrators may not know where the hostages are, but as soon as you tell them on air, those who the perpetrators are working with outside where they're doing their stuff, would be able to immediately text. They can even tweet, Facebook, whatever, just get the information to their people that the hostages you're looking for are in this and this place. So that was very, very, very dangerous. And I kind of remember the words where Kalembe Ndili once said back in the day that whenever one person speaks, mtu mmoja akiamka, 1,000 votes zinaenda. So I just want to keep this philosophy in mind. If you can't speak anything that is worthwhile, just sit down and follow events, as we all do. But if you do something that is worse, then it's morally reprehensible. Again, I want to speak about insensitivity while speaking with the hostages. You cannot ask how the mood is where they are. You are supposed to sympathize with them. They're not going for tea where you ask how's the mood, how's the weather. They are in a hostage situation. You need to be sensitive to how they feel and what perhaps is going through their minds, the minds of their families and things of the sort. So you really have to speak in manners that do not arise more emotions in them, still speaking in a manner that gives them confidence that everything will be okay. If a hostage starts to break down, please calm them down. Do not ask them for more information. Do not probe further. Just calm them down and then correct the situation. Again, I'm thinking of revealing progress of ongoing operations. You do not take pictures of people moving in strategic positions towards the assailant. if the assailants have a way of communicating with people on the outside, or just watching TV from their rooms, they know specifically how many people are coming, what sort of weapons they are carrying, and from which direction they are coming. It is a very, very irresponsible move on the part of the media. Again, there's the issue of inadequate information. You cannot wait for me to look at CNN and then see that the people who are, the perpetrators of Somali origin, they were yelling, moving people aside if they speak Arab, and then keeping the others within the confines of the building. Again, you cannot wait for me to go on Twitter and then learn that those people were specifically targeting non-Muslims. Now, there's a phrase in the Bible, and it says, the truth will set you free. Do not give us inadequate information, especially when that information is readily available, across the globe. And with Facebook, Twitter, social media, I can pretty much know everything that is happening. So do not lie to us. That's what I'm going to say about that. Again, there's poor analysis. You cannot just analyze everything from every given direction. You have to be specific, you have to be systematic. You move from what is happening, you move into what should be happening, what will happen, you move into aftermath, you move into analysis that breaks down, gives you more information rather than gives you more doubt. For example, we need to know, ask security forces, which forces are supposed to be on the ground, which forces are not supposed to be on the ground. How are we to know that the situation is escalating? The military is coming. Who is the military? Speak specifically what branch of the military is coming, what tactical unit are we expecting, things of that sort. Again, if you reveal the tactical unit, you have not revealed the tactics. So I don't think there's a problem there. And then again, I must speak on corruption in media houses. I think this is the epicenter of everything, because when people are so used to getting money to produce stories, and getting money to edit stories, it is at times like this that the inadequacy, the incompetency of the media comes through. Yeah, because it is at these times that we actually need the professional, but the professionals are not there. What is happening is what not should be happening within the media. People use various means to get there. People use various means to stay there, and not all of these means are, credible. So I want to speak on another issue: the security forces. Now, perhaps I've watched too many movies, I won't lie, but I do believe in one given principle that it is better that you have sheep that are led by a lion, as opposed to lions led by a sheep. So you guys need to produce yourself. You need to how do I put this, you need to structure yourself as one formidable unit. For that to happen, you need good communication and you need good coordination. You cannot just be there everywhere. There needs to be certain levels, certain perimeters that are developed within any given scenario. For example, you could have one specific branch of the police cordoning off the building, another specific branch communicating with the media, another specific branch coordinating the efforts inside the whatever is happening inside the building. But you cannot just have everybody everywhere giving orders. Actually, the only people who I thought were making sense were I think there were the Mossad forces on the ground. I think they were the only people who were giving orders that actually make sense. But for the rest, the Kenyan police were just enda huko, skuma mtu hapo pale, but nothing really, they're doing nothing really concrete. So that needs to improve. Again, there was a lack of clear protocol. What happens, how do we call in the next branch of more specialized forces? There was just nothing. Who's coming? The military is coming. Who's coming? We have GSU. Who's coming? There needs to be clear protocol. You move from the point where it's not a robbery. who's next. From the point where it's a terrorist attack, who's next. From the point that this is a serious terrorist attack, not just Al-Shabaab, but more sophisticated people. Al-Shabaab with better training. Then how do you move from that? Perhaps again, I've watched too many movies, but if you look at SWAT, how they do their things, there's usually a progression. The state police start, the SWAT might come in, FBI agents might come. It's usually a projection. But for you guys, it's just whatever. Again, there's a laxity in security measures after the rescue. Things, it never really ends when it comes to security. People get out of the building, it never ends there. You need to take care of the people who are outside of the building, and not just hospitality and stuff, but you need to ensure that those who got out are actually the ones who need to get out. You need to check the credentials and stuff. Again, I need to talk to my brothers. I need to talk to the Muslims a bit. Now, to all Muslims, there's a story my brother told me. He told me that in the movie The Godfather, Don Corleone was about to die, and then he called his son Tony, and he told Tony, be wary of the first person who comes to you and offers you my condolences after I die. That is the person who betrayed me. So I want Muslims to think about this as I get into this. You need to be wary of smiling Christians. You seriously need to be wary of them. Do not just somebody sends a sweet text, somebody updates something nice on their Facebook, somebody tweets something nice, and you're all good, it's all comfortable. The thing you do not know is what Christians talk about when they are alone. You do not know what is in the hearts of Christians, and you really need to know it. And at this point, I think you need to know it from me, because I speak my mind, and whatever comes, I just speak my mind. People talk very nicely on social media. They'll talk very nicely to you, but what they're saying when you're not around is a bit different. But I'll come to that later. Now, for SUPCAM, I really think you guys need to up your game. You need to come out strongly. I've noticed a tendency whenever it's a human rights activist issue, perhaps a Muslim has been caught up in suspected terrorism, usually come out very, 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 very strongly. You have Hassan Johor at the background, you have the other Hassan Omar in the background, you have the entire SUPCAM, officials, at the press conference. But when it comes to a terrorist attack, you just send one official or just a couple of people. You need to come out strongly, not necessarily to assure the Christians that you are behind them, but more so to speak out as a faith against this tragedy. Because I know I have Muslim friends, and this is not what Islam is all about. Again, I want to urge all Muslims that you keep the faith. Islam is not a religion that just started the other day. You have to keep the faith if you feel that you need to keep the faith. But I feel that you should keep the faith. If you look at the flag of Egypt, there's usually an eagle in the middle of that flag. There's red, there's white, and then there's black, and then there's an eagle there's a golden eagle in the white. Now that eagle is supposed to represent the eagle of Salahuddin. Salahuddin is one of the greatest men that ever lived, and I think perhaps the greatest Muslim that ever lived. Now, Salahuddin used to work with very difficult Christians. They were just liars, including King Richard the Lionheart. They were just liars. But he was a man of his word, he was a man of his faith, and he kept his word, he kept his faith, and he kept his human principle. I do believe that Islam is a religion of human principle, going by who Salahuddin was, and going by who my friends are I do know that. So I do not believe that people should be shaken in their faith just because others choose to do things that are not right. Again, you must know that Christians occasionally do things that are not right. And if you're speaking about, doing things against humanity, Christians have done their share, a lot more than they care to talk about. Again, I'd like to tell Muslims that you are the solution to this terrorist problem that we are facing in our country, specifically when it comes to religious terrorism. You are the solution. Kenyan security forces will never truly know who to fight, when to fight them, and why to fight them. It is only you who can know. It is only you who are in the mosque with them. It is only you who know who your friends are and who your friends are not. It is only you who can see when a radical is about to rise. It is only you who can see when the radical is around. We cannot. I mean, security forces might, pretend as much as they can, but they cannot. It is only Muslims who can solve this issue for us, no matter how hard we try and say we can. Because at the end of the day, we are not in your homes. We are not easily in every home. Every woman that walks past, every child that moves past, we do not know what is happening, and we cannot condemn an entire people because of a few. It is only you who can know the few, because they speak amongst you. It is only you who can tell us who is to blame, and who perhaps might be the future cause of our worry. So I'm hoping that you guys, SUPKEM, might come out strongly and speak out against this. Again, I want to speak about the Christians. Christians basically, stop the hypocrisy, speak what you mean, and don't try and sugarcoat things. Yeah, we all know that there's a given problem. We all know that the type of terrorism that we face is mostly religious terrorism, of which the terrorists are mostly Muslims, and we need to be open about that. We don't need to sugarcoat it. We don't need to hide that. What we need to do is to ask our Muslim brothers to help us, and we need to preach the peace that our religion dictates. We need to preach the peace of Christ. It is only by our love that they know we are Christians. I remember that song. I can never forget that. And it is only by our love that they will always know that we are Christians. It is love always. Do not discriminate against anyone. Do not look at Somalis in a different way. Do not look at Muslims in a different way. We are one. That is the philosophy of Christ. Do not go against the philosophy of Christ. Okay. So basically, that's all I have to say about Christians. Now I need to speak about the aristocracy. Now, again, let me just begin from this point. Martin Luther once said that an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. And any man who suffers from this end will also suffer from another man, will also suffer from another end due to that suffering. Let me give you the Sokimau story. So many people have been evicted from their homes, from their slums. It happens almost on a daily basis, but nobody really takes note. Nobody. Everybody goes about their business. It didn't happen to me, so it's okay. And mostly that's the attitude of the aristocracy. So what changed when Sokimau came about, when the demolition trucks came about? People took notice that this land issue needs to be sorted out. Either that or we have a problem. Yeah. As soon as the first bomb goes out in Isili, as soon as the second bomb goes out in Garissa, far-flung regions, places we don't usually go to every day, and then we just take it all in a straight. There are no tears. Yeah, I don't see anybody in the middle, all crying, all feeling sad and that stuff. And we never really understand that it's usually an escalation. that at first it happens in the slums, and then it happens in the suburbs, and then it's all over the country after some time. We need to arrest situations as they arise, not because they happen to us, but because they are happening. Arrest those situations. Do not live comfortable in your home and then say, oh, the bomb went off there, it went off there. Sooner or later it will come to you. Again, we need to look at the important. Okay, basically what I'm saying is look at the importance of security in the slums, and in these neighborhoods that we don't usually frequent. We need to check that so that we might prevent these escalations. Again, for the Kenyan public, I need to congratulations. Just might say congratulations. The response was very, very constructive. We had people questioning the media, telling the media, stop behaving badly, stop giving away positions of the hostages and of the tactical teams. It was very constructive. Again, Kenyans went out to donate blood. That was very, very, very constructive. I really commend you for that. Sooner or later we might move to how Israelis and Americans view their own people, with the respect, with honor, and with love. Again, I might caution Kenyans against a few things. Do not congest yourself around dangerous scenarios. Just do not. Be there to help, and number two, be there to tell the truth, because they will lie. Be there to tell the truth. Help those who are suffering, and then witness the truth so that you may speak it in future. We need to stop this short memory syndrome. We need to take care of all of this. The structures within our police force when dealing with emergency situations needs to improve. The media needs to be held culpable. We let them go during the post-election violence because of a short memory syndrome. We cannot afford to keep letting them go. They need to be held accountable. We need to change how we view ourselves in terms of security and other things. We need to help those who need help, not just helping ourselves. If anything happens to anybody anywhere, then we must be there to help those in need. We must view ourselves as brothers. Please, Muslims, step out. We cannot handle. Okay, anybody will say that they can handle, but at the end of the day, the only people who will know and who will help us out in this terrorism situation are Muslims. That is my sincere belief. Christians, we might try as much, but at the end of the day, that's it. So let me just end there. This is 22 minutes, man. I went too long. So anyhow, this is Nahashon Kimemia. This is my YouTube channel. View it, share it, give opinions, and then we just see where we go from here. www.nahashonkimemia.org. Cheers. I'm out.